welcome to Being Extra, the show about everybody who's below directors and actors. Today I'm joined by my good friend Ricky. How you doing, Ricky?
Hey man, thanks for having me on.
It's crazy how time flies by. You came from Tampa, I believe, right?
Yeah, came up here and a couple years ago and just wanted to get into the film business because there was nothing in Tampa,
Yeah.
and just ended up being going to the background world.
It's good to have you, man. And you guys can follow Rick at the Rick415. Follow him. He has awesome posts. You know, he's an actor. You do a dinner show as well, right? Like a detective dinner show?
Yeah, actually, we're gonna drop the product placement and the name right here.
There
You
you
can see it
go.
on the mug, the Dinner Detectives.
Speaking of quarantine, how's quarantine going for you?
It's good. I guess. I mean, as good as it's gonna get. We're still stocked up on food and toilet paper
Good to
and
know.
beer. So we
And
got
beer.
all the essentials right now.
Yes, yes.
And
Perfect.
just been catching up on movies, catching up on shows. We're currently halfway through Lego Masters on
Oh,
Fox,
I
so
heard about that.
we're getting some progress done. Yeah, it's a good show. It's very stressful, very
That
stressful. If you don't like things falling apart and shaky hands, it's not the show for you.
Oh, I can't imagine, man. Well, you know, everybody has been on Tiger King recently, and I followed the hype train, and I'm guilty of it, but it's worth it. I 100% recommend it if somebody hasn't watched it. I had to get my wife into it. That was a hard one. That was a tough sell to my wife. She was like, "What is that? I don't want to see tigers in cages." And I'm like, "No, no, but it's the people that have the tigers in the cages. They're the story." And it's this crazy. It's just like crazy stories that happen every 30 minutes. It is an amazing watch. I recommend it. And well, I was looking at the movie news today, and it looks like there's gonna be an extra episode.
Been hearing
So
about that.
I'm very excited for that extra episode, and we'll see how it goes. What other shows would you recommend right now during this quarantine?
Let's see. What else? We finished watching the Big Show, which is where you have the wrestler, the Big Show, and he's got his
Right.
own little sitcom. It's
Yeah.
pretty funny. It's a good show if you're a wrestling fan, and it's a good kids show.
Okay.
I feel like there's a show that no not many people know about. It's called the IT Crowd,
The
and it's
IT
like
crowd.
British humor.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, and it's got a bunch of these British stars from that got famous, and I wish I could remember their name because this is terrible for the interview. But it's the dude from The Watch. That's the movie with
Right.
Ben Stiller, where they were. It's the British dude with the hair.
Yes.
He's in
Yes.
there,
I know who you're talking
and
about.
and then the other dude is the one from. He was in Bridesmaids. I think he ended up becoming the main one's boyfriend, the police officer.
Yes.
So if you can piece together
I, th-
those
I,
links,
I think
then you know what I'm talking about.
I think that's Melissa McCarthy's husband. No, is that who you're talking about? Wait, oh no, not the. Oh, sorry. I was thinking. No, I was thinking of the air marshal. Sorry, sorry. Okay, that sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't seen that in a while, but okay, good. Thanks for the recommendations, man. Yeah.
They've done other movies, but that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Well, my personal recommendation is Parasite. It's on Hulu. Hulu is one of the
You watched it
cheapest.
already?
Oh, I saw it before it came out on Hulu. I had to search. I had to search all of Atlanta. Okay, and this was before the Oscars, before it got any nomination. It wasn't anywhere. You had to go to like a very artsy theater, you know. It wasn't like at AMC. It was at One Regal in Atlanta, and I live far from Atlanta, so it was a drive. It was so worth it, and people say, oh no, you know, reading the captions, the subtitles ruins the movie, and it did not ruin this movie. It is such an amazing movie, and if you have Hulu, go watch it. It's seriously one of the cheapest streaming services right now, so it's a high recommendation from me. And you know, anybody, just look at the reviews online. I'm not the only one, and I'm so happy that I saw that movie. And again, another movie I made my wife watch, and she was like, "Wow, that that was good." And you know, she's getting more into movies with me now because she's a teacher. But now she's getting more into the movie world with me, little by little. But that's good, man. That's good. I'm happy. I'm happy to see you're doing good. Last time I saw you was a month ago, right?
Yeah, I had a mustache then, and then now I have the beard back.
You have a mustache. It's a project we cannot talk about, but because it's not out yet. It's not out yet. But yeah, but we were working on that. It was like what, 13-hour
Oh
day?
yes. Yeah, that was a long one.
Okay, so with the whole quarantine going on, I want to talk about movies that have been delayed. So, for me, two movies that I was really looking forward to. One, Mulan, and two, James Bond. Those were my personal movies that I really had like high up on my list. And it's gonna be a bummer to wait a whole year, but at least I can catch up on shows and movies that are on streaming at the moment. But what are some movies that were gonna come out soon that you were looking forward to that got pushed to the future?
Black Widow, man, that was the one. The next
Uh,
Marvel movie. Let's see what was gonna happen.
that was up there. That was up there. There was talking about Robert Downey Jr. cameo because that did happen before Endgame, right? That's what they're talking about, right?
Yeah, that was after Civil War. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all, it's a new speculations. They're saying that he has a cameo. We'll see. That's what had me excited to watch it as well.
I just want to see where they go next in the whole entire MCU. Because like right now, after Endgame, you're
Yes,
kind of just like, we lost all these heroes. Hopefully, no, everybody's seen it, so it's not a spoiler. But you lost Cap, you lost Iron Man, and
yeah,
it's just like, what are they going to do next? Because you hear all these big things they got planned, but you don't
yes.
know how they're going to pan out going forward.
Endgame to me, and I'm not counting Spider-Man Far From Home because that was technically the ending to Phase 4, but the ending for me personally, I felt like was Endgame. That was such a perfect ending. It was, it was what, 10 years coming? Is that right? 22 movies, 23 movies. Yeah, that was a perfect
There's a lot going on,
yeah,
man.
it's crazy just how they tied it up. Every to get the Russo brothers to tie up all these movies done by different directors. They directed all these actors that were directed by different directors at a time, and they brought them all together and still kept their personality, still kept the way they did things, and they put it all together into these two amazing movies, Infinity War and Endgame. That to me was amazing. I don't know when we're gonna experience something like that again.
You don't know, man. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are going to be involved in this thing, and they've worked on different Marvel productions that we can't say, but Georgia has some productions going around here, so there's all these things that people know bits and pieces of,
Yes.
but and they want to say something, but you don't want to hear it because spoiler alerts, and what they're doing for the Disney Plus is going to be real big.
Disney Plus, that's a game changer because this is one of the few times that you can have a TV show tying into a movie, you know?
Good marketing. That's how you get it. It's like, oh, you want to know what happens in these movies and Doctor Strange too? You got to go and get the Disney Plus. And that's
Yes.
how they get you. So you can watch WandaVision and then you'll be up to date. Otherwise, you'll watch the movie and be like, why do I feel like I'm missing something important here?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're a Marvel fan, you have to have Disney Plus, pretty much. They have so many Marvel fans around the world. They all got Disney Plus because they want the continuity. They want, it just became into, even though they're individual movies, it kind of became like a TV show. Every movie's an episode.
They're just very long episodes, 2 to 3 hour long episodes.
They come out every year, so it's worth the wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So it'll be
man,
fun seeing what they do going forward, man.
I hope we get Black Widow soon, man, and whatever else happens. Because there was a whole debate going on about should the movies that were supposed to come out this year come out on streaming. What do you think about that?
I think some you can let out, like the like Fox, or I guess now it's Disney, has the New Mutants movie that was
Yes.
supposed to come out like, I don't know, what, 2, 3 years ago or something like that, and it keeps getting delayed.
Oh
If
God.
something like that, just put it out there. Just put it on Hulu. Just put it on Disney Plus, and just
Yeah.
just get that movie out there. But like the big ones, like the Fast and Furious movie, I
Yeah.
understand you got to push that one back. That's a big franchise that's still going on. And then you have Marvel movies. Nah, I mean you got to bring people to the movie theater,
Yeah.
and you just can't have these moments where people are going to be, you got to go to the theater and enjoy this experience with everybody. But we don't know what's going to be happening with everybody once this whole coronavirus thing passes.
Yeah.
People are going to be a little iffy about being back in big groups. We don't know how long it's going to take for a lot of people to be comfortable. So, the movie theaters might be a little rocky to start with, but we should definitely still be able to support them.
I 100% agree with you, man. I feel like this is gonna leave a lot of people uneasy about going back out into the world. It's gonna be a slow transition back. Once you were in a packed theater full of people for a premiere, people are not gonna feel the same right away. I feel like if they open movies back up, they're gonna have to seat each person one seat apart, with a seat in between empty. That would be maybe a safe solution to slowly transition back into it, because I know for sure it's gonna take me a while too to transition back into going to the movies, the premieres that are always full of people. And we do have to support it though. This is our industry, this is what you and me work in. And we always support it no matter what. I always try to buy a full ticket if I can.
Yeah, there's just things that are going on right now that are going to be out of business. And movie theaters are definitely one of those things that are like those caution spots of whether they're going to be blooming in business because people want to go see this movie, or if it's just going to be one of those places that are going to be avoided for the next couple months, pretty much for the rest of the year.
Exactly,
So
man.
support
Support the movie theaters. I agree with that. And also, yeah, I mean that's the whole debate with streaming. Should some movies come out on streaming? Should some not? And I think you're right. The bigger the movie, the amount of man hours they put into it, the amount of marketing they put out there, they want to see a return on their investment, because movies, they're investments, they're businesses.
Because part of me is like, oh, these big movies, if they go straight to a streaming service,
Yes.
then it's perfect because we're just gonna be home and you can just watch it on, whatever you got, and it's like, great, nailed it. We saw it for whatever our subscription was. There's these, but a lot of people work on these movies that you don't realize. There's a whole couple hundred people. You got different locations, so it's different crews sometimes, and people come in and out, and it's just the work, the art, and you just got to go out there and see it in person at the theaters. Go out and support and help out. But I mean, personally, I would like it if Black Widow was on the Disney Plus by next month.
So Taika Waititi was doing an Instagram live, and somehow he filmed. I don't know if this is just a troll, but somehow he filmed a page of Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, yeah. It could be a troll. It could be fake. But okay, this is the thing that's freaking me out. Is Thor is talking to, it says Tony. Tony.
So yeah, okay. I see what we're saying right now. You think it's Tony Stark?
And it's going viral right now. This is crazy. This is happening right now as we speak. Do you want to know what it says, or you want to save it? Okay.
Yeah, because it might be real, might be fake, but it still be entertaining.
Okay. Tony, what's up? Thor, you're back. Tony, in the back, baby. Tony and Thor hug. Thor, but how? I saw you die. Tony, science. Also, Thanos is back. Whoa. Thor, mother friggin' no. So we're assembling again. Tony, again, it's go time. Tony, everyone who died is coming back. And this time, we're avenging even more than ever. From now on, we'll be known as the Avengerers. And see. Okay. That might be a troll. Thanos is back.
That's an award-winning writer right there.
That's an Oscar-winning writer.
Yes,
Academy
that movie was good. Jojo Rabbit was very good. I finally saw that.
I'm happy you saw it. I highly recommended it to you. Like every time I saw you on the background, I'm like, dude, have you seen Jojo Rabbit? Have you seen Jojo Rabbit? And Parasite. I was like, have you seen it? Because I like talking movies with you. So when you haven't seen it, I'm like, oh my God, it's frustrating.
one of the perks of being in quarantine is catching up on all these movies that you can't watch because we're working usually 5 days a week, maybe 6 if you get the weekend shoot. But
Yes,
then it's like, oh, we don't have work at all. So we're just going to catch up on all these movies that we haven't seen.
that's true. Once you work as an extra, you're on set for 12 to 13 hours and you don't see the daylight. You go in at 5, 6 in the morning, come out at 8 p.m. It's just a regular day. And that's how it is. And that's what we're here to talk about. And today we are here to talk about you specifically. You were on a little show, little called Cobra Kai. Please tell us what you did on that show.
It's a big internet show right there. Well, okay, so I'll start from the beginning. So season 1, I was background.
Yes.
Everybody, I'm sure, has seen it. Maybe, hopefully, they've seen it. If not, it's on YouTube. Check it out. We don't have anything to do tomorrow, so you can watch the whole season in one day. You can watch season 2 with it in the same day. But yeah, what I did was I was background for the first one, there for the tournament, and then I was in a bar scene where Ralph Macchio and William Zabka were drinking beers. And then season 2 came along, and I got lucky somehow, and I ended up being Ralph Macchio's stand-in. And that was crazy experience, man. We did a lot of fun stuff. Ralph's super cool. The whole cast is super cool. And it's just everybody's real nice and they work real hard. And it's just quick moving show. Like they only got pretty much about 3 months to shoot 10 episodes and they just knock it out real quick. They get it done. But everybody still has a good time. Sure, it's a movie production. And, things can get tense, but that's just because everybody's under the gun to make the best show possible in this quick amount of time. So it's a quick turnaround. So they're done. I can't say much about season 3 because it hasn't came out yet, nor has a trailer. I'm sure it'll be out. Let's see, what are we in right now? April. Give it May, possibly May. I think could be out. But yeah, we did a lot of cool stuff. Ralph's a super cool guy, man. Got to know him real well in season 3. We actually have these hoodies that we got right here.
No
I
way.
can show you.
No way. Oh.
So Tanner, who plays Robbie on the show.
Yes.
He was that was a wrap gift from season 3, and that's really what I wanted because like everybody had like hoodies or jackets by the end of season 2.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, I gotta get one, and I just missed out because I think that was a day that I wasn't there. Right. But we got those this season, and it is awesome, man. It is. I wear that around. The other one, you can, we got headbands from Billy, who plays Johnny on the show. He gives out headbands with the Cobra Kai logo on it.
Wow.
And then the season 1 and season 2 on the side, whatever season it is. So it's real cool, man. It's real cool for those guys to come around and hand out all the stuff and, take care of the standards. Second team, man. Second
team. Okay, so for our non-movie working listeners, explain to them what second team is, what a stand-in does, and how it's different. Yeah, and how it's different from a photo double, because some people are gonna think photo double and stand-in are the same thing, but they're not. So you can explain that better than I can.
I like saying it because it's kind of like, how is the right way to explain this? I do everything that Ralph does besides the stunt parts, but the camera is not rolling. So everything that you see him do on screen, I'll do, but the camera's not on. I guess would be the best way to put it.
Yes. And
so all the motions he does, the lines, everything, it's for the blocking of the cameras, it's for the lighting, it's for all the stuff. So that when he comes in, they're ready to rock and roll, and they don't waste any time shooting the shot.
There's a perfect description of being a stand-in. And literally, you stand in. You stand. Sometimes you get to walk, and that's a treat, right?
Yeah, you get to be a walk-in. But it's, whether it's raining, whether it's, it's super cold outside, you got to be out there first. Get that thing set up for them. And then, when it's time to go, they bring him in, and it's time to rock and roll. So Ralph's a super cool guy. So it's just like, all right, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. Get this done right on the first try. But, sometimes it takes a couple minutes to set up a shot, longer than you'd like it, because it gets kind of cold out there. But, it's part of the job.
how much did you get to interact with Ralph Macchio?
As the season went on, we became more talkative. Because at first it's like, oh, this is Ralph Macchio,
Yeah.
his name's my cousin B, and you're just like, all right, let's just try not just mess this up first. Let's just make sure I know exactly what I'm doing before things happen. And next thing you know, it's I get myself shit canned, and then I'm like, oh, great. But no, but as the season goes, I became more talkative. You gotta let loose. All the second team gelled well, and we all all the actors are super nice. So everybody just started blending real well with their second teamer and the first teamers, and everybody's real cool, man. Everybody's real nice. So it's just everybody's there for business. We got to make sure that everybody's doing their job, and everybody gets done the job that they're signed up for, so we can make the best show possible.
Oh, that's good, man. I like that. So when did you get the call to be the stand-in for Ralph?
Geez. Let's see. What was I was doing a pilot for this. We were doing like this casting company. We were doing this like agency, and they were a casting company. So our show was like The Office, but it was like that. And I was doing that show, and then somebody tagged me on Facebook because they were looking for stand-ins for Ralph. So I pretty much ended up sending it in because the first year I was going in for a screen test, but things obviously didn't work out. And then they were like, yeah, come on in. We want you to do the interview. And we were sitting there. We did the whole thing. And I got a phone call from the casting agent about probably like in a couple hours. And then
Wow.
next thing you know, they're like, we want to go with you to be Ralph stand-in. And I was like, oh shit. Like, because that was the first time I was an actual like full-time from
Full
start to
time.
finish of a season of like, well, assuming that I could make it through and I did my job right, I would make it to the end of the season. But that was like, all right, you're going to be this dude stand-in for the entire season. And I was just like, oh man, all right. So I took it real serious.
Wow.
And I always joke around about the other second teamers, but I was like, every time they would yell second team, I would like be running towards set.
Yeah.
I would just hear it, in my sleep because they were like second team, and I had to be there already. There was one time I was doing that show that just came out with Anthony Mackie on was Apple Plus, The Banker.
Yes.
So that came out, and I was doing background one day, just normal background, but I was still working Cobra Kai. It
Yeah.
was one of those off days, and I heard them, one of the PAs yell, second team. And I started getting up and I started dashing out of holding. And then I was like, wait, that's the wrong show. I'm just background right now.
Right, right,
Third
right.
team. So
You got so used to that you were second team in your head. You were like, wait, VG, right?
yeah, I was just like, all right. Yeah. It just like was something instilled in me that they were just like, all right, well, we yell second team. You guys got to be right here, man. Because no wasting time. We only got a short amount. We only got daylight to work this episode. So,
Okay.
we just want to make it work.
Yeah.
So I was just like, whoa, stuck up in there.
Well, what some people don't know and they're about to find out is that you and me get put up for a lot of the same roles. It happened, and I don't know if I told you this, but I got called for the screen test for Ralph.
What, the first season or both? Second season?
Second season. And I had just started a new job, and I said no, I can't come to a screen test. It's okay. But I remember I had talked to you about it. No, you talked to me about it. You texted me, "Hey, did they call you for Cobra Kai?" And I'm like, "Yes, but I couldn't do it." And then when I found out you got it, I was so happy for you. I like when my friends get bigger things. And I'm like, "No way, that's awesome!" Like you and me would have been up for it. You might have still gotten it if I would have gone up. But it's just funny to think. It's just funny to think we get put up for the same roles. And I know what people are thinking when they see us. They're like, "You guys don't look the same," but on paper we do. On paper, we're like the same height, same skin complexion. So that's what they see when you apply. You're like, oh, 5'8", 5'9", Hispanic, this is the weight.
That's why I'm growing out my beard, so we can have some difference.
Him and me work on MacGyver. We're regulars of MacGyver. And sometimes when I'm there, it's because Ricky's not there. Or sometimes Ricky goes and they don't call me. So it's just a funny thing, and we get called pretty much for the same thing. It's like, hey, we need a Hispanic stand, and I'm like, hey, Ricky, did they call you? He'll be like, yep. I'm like, so okay, see you there.
I said no, so they say yes to you, and then it's you
Yeah,
say no, and then they say yes to me, and it's just like, well, it's
back
a rotating door of
back and forth.
who they're going to use.
Yeah. Well, getting back to you and Karate Kid. Well, Cobra Kai. My next question is, did you see the original Karate Kid?
Of course, I got all of them on DVD.
Really? That's awesome. Before Cobra Kai or after Cobra Kai?
No, 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 no. So I needed to, I needed the, make sure I was up to date on everything that was going on with Cobra Kai.
Right.
And so I was like, all right, because I seen the original one.
Yeah.
But I was like, I know there was a number 2, and then I definitely didn't know there was a number 3 at the time. And then number 4 is the one with Hilary Swank, which I had no clue about. And
Mm-mm.
then there's the one with Jackie Chan and Will Smith's son. There's this DVD store that I go to, and I was like, all right, they had the whole entire 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I was like, I'm going to get it. I'm going to watch these, and
Wow.
I'm going to make sure I know what's going on, because
Yeah.
they like to make their callbacks, their references to the original movies
Yes.
for the old school fans. That's a good way to keep everybody happy, because when you watch Cobra Kai, it's the new crowd, the young kids that are
Yeah.
fans of of Robbie, and the fans of Mary
Yeah.
or Sam. And then you guys will have the old school fans, the ones of Billy and the ones of Ralph, watching, because you want to see what goes on, what continues with the story of Johnny. And then you got to have the whole entire thing, because it's all Johnny's story when you're
Right.
watching it. Because you would think like, oh, okay, here we are. We're going to continue the story of Daniel LaRusso, because that's how
Mhm.
the first, that's how all the movies were. It was
All of them.
based off
Yeah.
of. Yeah, but now the way they switched it up, which is awesome, is you go off Johnny. You
Yeah.
go off Johnny Lawrence's story. You see how he starts from, he's in this kind of bad situation, and then he kind of wants to redeem himself and bring himself back Cobra Kai, so he can get some glory in life and get some positive going. But Daniel Russo doesn't want to keep it going, because they were bullies to him throughout the whole time in the first movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's gotta stop it. And you watch the Daniel and Johnny story continue, which is super cool. So you got the old school fans involved in that. You
Right.
got the whole martial arts, the stunts. You got the teenagers, so you got all their drama going on. You got some love story in there. You got a lot of complex situations going on, but it's so fun, man. And it's only a half an hour too, about 10 episodes, so about 30 minutes roughly,
Yeah.
and you can knock it out, man, in one day.
Oh, dude, let me tell you, that was one of my favorite shows last year to watch. It was just amazing. I love when the continuous story. When a movie ends or something ends, and you're like, I want to know what happens after. And then we get, yeah, the story from Billy's side. Not so much, Ralph Macchio's side, the Karate Kid. Is awesome to see that. The rivalry was always still there, even though that they grew up, they had very different lives. One had, let's say, a very successful life,
Yes.
LaRusso, and then you got, you have the other protagonist who didn't have such a good life growing up, and we see him kind of come back out through karate. Like karate brings him back on his feet in a sort of way to say. So, I really like seeing that the old characters coming back. I think that's awesome, man. Yeah, and I'm a fan of the original Karate Kids movies as well. But I will say my generation saw the Jaden Smith, Jackie Chan movie. I'm an old soul, so I love old movies. I had already seen the Karate Kid, even though I was born in '91. But I love the original Karate Kids movie. So I was still fond of the Jaden Smith Karate Kid movie. I love Jackie Chan. I mean, having him as a sensei, that to me was like, finally, Jackie Chan's not the hero, but the sensei, the one teaching. It was I like that movie. It was in China. In China. That was one of my favorite parts of the new Karate Kid. But, there's nothing like the original. So I'm going to tell you some things, and you let me know if you knew this about the Karate Kid. Okay. When Ralph Macchio was doing the first Karate Kid, he was 22.
I knew he was older than Daniel LaRusso, but I didn't know the exact age. So
Yeah, so he
no,
was.
but I knew he was older though.
No one believed him. No one believed him. And I checked out the trailer today for this interview. I'm like, let me look at the trailer. And I was like, no way. That
Yeah, they were all older. They weren't. Nobody was in high school.
nobody was in high school. And that's a usual Hollywood thing, but he looked like he was in high
Still
school.
has that super young face.
Yes.
Like,
Oh, he kept that face for life. That's
yeah,
that's who they know him
you
as.
Google how old he is, and you're like, wow, really? I definitely, did not know that because he looks 20 years younger than what he actually is.
Oh, also, he still has the original wax on, wax off car.
Yes, yes, that's a big thing in the shows. Is what that
Yeah.
wax on, wax off car.
Yeah, that big wax on, wax off. And this is their original one, which is everybody thinks is amazing, but seeing it in person is even better, right?
Oh yeah. Being able to just be in that car was like, what is going on right now? But yeah, I mean, his and Mr. Miyagi's, the Daniel Russo and Mr. Miyagi relationship was like real life stuff, man, because it was just something that went beyond the screen, and those guys stayed close.
Yeah, that they stay very close, and I think nobody knew how well that movie was gonna do when it came out, and the relationships that started, and this like fan bases started. It became a cult. It had a cult following after the original movies came out, and I think that's awesome. That's why I'm happy that the show continued. That they made it into a show that continued the story. I'm very happy that that happened. You know, the original referee was the karate trainer, and he was trained by none other than Chuck Norris. Did you know
Oh, I
that?
didn't. I didn't know that fun fact.
The referee for the first Karate Kid, he was the one that trained everybody. And on the credits, he is the fight choreographer and karate instructor. So he taught them karate, and he got a small role in the movie being the referee. And he was trained by Chuck Norris. So just to add on to that.
That's awesome, man.
Another fun fact, you might have known this though. William Sapka continued his training after Karate Kid. Like, he continued training karate in real life and became a green belt.
I can believe that. He did a lot of action movies after Karate Kid time was over.
Yes. Yes, yes. I think that's why he kept his training up, and
So he had to keep himself in shape.
it taught him discipline. William Sapka said that there's so many people that had like trouble with his character, like they didn't like it at all. And even at years after the movie came out, people would try to get into fights with him in real life. Yeah, he said it in an
Wow.
interview. He said that there's so many people that had like trouble with his character and they hated that character so much that people would be mad, and he would be like, it's just a character I played. But people would be so pissed. They would try to fight him in bars or wherever they found him. That's
Johnny Lawrence.
I know I'm William Sapka. But well, yeah, that's it for my fan facts. So, tell me about one experience that stood out to you while you were being the stand-in for Ralph Macchio.
Let's see. I got to go back to season 2 because I can't talk about season 3 yet. I guess probably the thing that would be the most memorable, most fun would have to be.
It is.
Damn, what would be the most thing from season 2? Let's see. I probably have to say when we were in the car, it was a good time. The original car that Mr. Miyagi gives Ralph in the first Cobra Kai. They had anytime that Ralph got to do like scenes by himself, those were
Yeah.
always interesting. Like his training scenes or any
Yes.
scene where he had to go and do some kind of reflection. So there's a scene in season 2 when he's at the beach
Yeah.
and he thinks he sees Mr. Miyagi, but it's just another dude and he's fishing.
Right.
And we shot that scene early. We went all the way to, where did we go? Savannah. No,
Right.
Fiji Island. Yeah. So yeah, it was not Fiji Island. What was it? Tybee Island?
Tybee Island. Tybee Island. Yes. Fiji.
Fiji Island ain't in Georgia.
Hey, Georgia.
Yeah. And, I drove there, like left Duluth in about 1 a.m, got there close to 5, and then we shot around 6.
Yeah.
because we had to get there for the sunrise, and it's Ralph walking out on the beach, and then he sees him out there. He sees this dude, and he's like, oh, he's like, he thinks it's Mr. Miyagi, but he goes up and he's like, oh, you're sorry, I thought you were somebody else. And then next thing he knows, the guy gives him some kind of advice that was Mr. Miyagi-ish. And he's just like, oh, that's, So it was those scenes when Ralph got to do him by himself
Yeah.
that I felt like those were really cool days. Because
Wow.
there's always more. There's so many characters and
Yeah.
so many actors, and you got so much complex
Yeah.
scenes that go on. So with the days that Ralph got to do things by himself, you really got to study him working. That's what I was doing when I was there. I was like, oh man, look how he does this scene. So it was kind of like learning classes for me,
Yeah.
taking it from this guy has been in movies for years. His career's been lasted decades, and you just get to watch Ralph Macchio just work and
Yeah.
just was like studying. So those days were the best for me because I got to just watch, learn, listen, and it was always fun. Plus, we were out on the beach. Apart
Yeah.
from it being super windy, it was really nice out there. Some of the stuff we get paid for, man. Some of the movies we work on and the scenes we get to do and the actors we get to see are just like so much fun, so crazy because you just sit there. I know a lot of stuff happens and we work constantly and a lot of stuff happens to the point where you just got to take a break, pause for a second, take a deep breath and like look around and be like, man, like there's this actor over there, or man, I'm like supposed to be in Chicago right now, but most of it's a green screen. Well, we're about to run through it because it's being destroyed. So we get to do a lot of fun stuff, man. It's
Yes.
a crazy experience being a background actor. You get to see these people on TV that some of them you grew up with, some of them that are just these mega stars that you're just like, how in the world am I standing next to The Rock right now? I've been watching him growing up. Well, he grew up on TV wrestling, and then I
Yeah.
grew up watching him on wrestling. Now we're working on Jumanji together. And it's just like, what in the world is going on? Or this
Oh.
person's book that you've been reading, and you're just like, oh, now I'm right next to this guy. And it's just like, wow, what a wild experience we get to do sometime when we go out there and we perform. And we, because our jobs pretty much make the background, make the scene live, and not mess it up and look at the camera or fall or do anything that's going to mess up the entire scene, draw the eye line off the main actor. So we got to go out there and, we still have a job to do. People are like, oh, your background, whatever. But it's like, man, we got an important job. When we do The Resident, you and I, it's one of
Yes.
the only shows we get to work on together because
Yes.
it's one or the other. And I saw you in the season finale of The Resident. You're at the front desk. So we get to do all these cool things. I love it when it's the days when it's like there's something going on and we all
Yes.
are rushing around because it's like, oh man, we got a fun day.
Yes.
Because some days, yes, you get to be pedestrian and it's just you crossing in the background and you're out of focus and you're just
Correct.
walking around. And then you get the cool days when it's like, all right, go ahead and grab this cart and push that or bring this IV to this person or, something's going on here. So run across the screen right now. And there's those fun days, man. So, even the cattle call days can be fun.
Oh yeah, cattle call. For our non-movie working people, cattle call is pretty much what it sounds like. A lot of people in one place. A lot of people in one place at a time. It could be a concert scene. It could be a busy street. It could be riding. Think of like Joker when everybody was riding outside. That was a cattle call. Stuff like that. That's what's called the cattle call. And we have been part of those many times. So
You know what I always thought when I watched the Joker was like, what was it like being Joaquin Phoenix's stand-in during that movie?
yes, and I want to find that guy and I want to interview him or somebody that did background on Joker during the riot scene. I want to know what it was like.
Oh, that would have been a fun night. There was probably a couple overnight. That was probably a whole week of overnight shoots.
That was about a week of overnight shoots. And coming back to what you said about being a background or even stand-in, it is a job we have to do. Some people say, oh, it's just going back and forth or it's not acting, but sometimes you have to act. Not in a way that you have to speak lines, but you have to show emotion many times. There's been times that the camera's been on me without me knowing, and they're like, I need you to react. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know the camera was on me or the people around me. So yeah, so they're like, look scared, look happy, smile, laugh, cheer. You know, there's so many things you have to do. Even when there's a cattle call and you have a bunch of people running around, you have to look scared. Because one time it was on Brockmire. This show already came out. Brockmire season 1. We all had to get like in this big fight. It was a cattle calls, like 100 people getting in a fight, but nothing dangerous, pushing each other, and we were all smiling because we were having fun with it. And the director's like, cut, cut, cut. Why are you guys smiling? You guys are fighting. And we're like, oh, we didn't think you could see our faces. You thought you just saw a bunch of people, blurry people in the background. They're like, we see everyone smiling. It's the craziest thing. So that's, okay, we have to act now. I'm like, oh my God, we got to act and look me and be like, fuck you, man.
Pantomime.
Pantomime. People, by the way, I'm not an actor. I'm more a behind the cameras guy, but for 3 years now, my job has been background. That's where I met Ricci. You know, that's where I met a lot of my good friends now that you're going to see on this show in the coming up, weeks.
Hey, man, you're a phenomenal actor, okay? You're a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, in the background. Blurry.
You died a couple times on The Walking Dead.
3 times.
Took a shotgun bullet straight to the chest.
And the head. And the head.
In the head. Yes. You died a couple times.
Doing this background stuff is amazing, and a few lucky background get picked to be stand-ins for a whole season or a whole movie. That's why I want to talk to Ricky today, because you could be a stand-in for a day. I've been called for day player stand-in roles, and that's fine. I'll take any work I get. But once you're lucky enough to be the stand-in for one of the main characters, and you're pretty much one of the biggest characters of the show, that must be a great feeling, right?
It's a great feeling, but I feel like I put myself underneath a ton of pressure to make sure that I hold it together for second team.
Right.
But it's fun, man. It's a good experience, and it's a lot of fun.
And let me ask you a question. When you did second team on Cobra Kai that we're talking about, did you ever go over any lines with some of the other second team?
We would always go over lines in the morning. It's like we get breakfast and then we sit at the table and we go over lines. Just to be safe, just to be ready to go. And we would do them sometimes. Sometimes it'd be, we're under the gun with clocks running. So it's just like, all right, just let's do it. Get the key points of the dialogue and then just get on out. There was one time when I did have to do it with first team because they sent Ralph to lunch early. And it's a scene in season 2 when Ralph comes out and all the students are fighting in the back. And it's Robbie, and he's fighting in the back because all the Cobra Kai kids are coming over. And there's a point where Ralph goes like, hey, it's like, why are you doing this? Blah, 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 blah. I can't really remember the lines exactly. But he's like, because he's like, what do you mean? He's like, I was in Cobra Kai. And then they had to act off my reaction. And I was just like, holy shit. All right. I only got like maybe 3 lines in this scene, but it's like they were just like, come on, read the lines. We sent Ralph, we cut him, we broke him early, so it's your turn to read these lines. And I was just like, okay, all right, this is part of the job. You gotta make sure you're ready to go. So luckily I nailed it, and they gave the good reactions and was like, okay. And then I was riding off like this crazy high for the rest of the week. When you pretty much this whole entire thing, when you do background, it's just being ready for whatever they call you in for. Yes. So sometimes like when we do The Resident, they'll just be like, hey, Jorge, come on, we need you in there. And then you'll go in there and you don't know what you're getting thrown into, but they'll be like, all right, what you need to do is you need to bring this thing into the main actor, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, all right, because you might have been sitting and holding for the last 4 hours.
You got to be ready to go on anything, on any job. Even if you're sleeping on the desk, and you have to, get yourself together. And because sometimes you'll be in holding 4 to 5 hours. Some people read, some people go to sleep, and they're like, okay, pictures up. Everybody starts scrambling. Ladies start putting on their makeup. Guys start, like getting ready. It's like wiping their drool off. It's just like, okay, let's go. Like, okay,
you got all the marks on your forehead from the way you've been sleeping.
Yeah, when you're like this, yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. I like doing background or standing or whatever. It's fun. It's a fun job.
It's
Standing.
fun, man.
It's fun. It's a
Fun.
fun
It's
job.
different. You're not doing like a desk job. You're not doing the same thing
Yeah.
constantly, repeatedly throughout the week. You get to do something different. Like we might be in a hospital tomorrow, and then the following day we'll be, running through the streets of New York, and then the following day we'll be in a science lab.
Yeah.
So you get to do all these crazy things, and then maybe one show you're back in the 1800s. And you get
Yes.
these cool costumes and everything.
Yeah. It's funny. In a week, you'll have like 5 different jobs. One day you'll be a restaurant worker, you'll be a waiter, then you'll be a businessman, then you'll be a teacher. You'll go back to college and be a college student. It's the funniest thing.
You got to have a planner, because if you when you're doing that, it's like every day something different possibly. So you got to keep track of what you're working on
Yes.
that week, or else you're just gonna be like, oh great, it's like you're working on this show until about midnight, and then the next day your call time, they send the email and it's like 4 a.m.
Yeah, it happened to me once that I forgot to read the wardrobe instructions, and they brought suits, and it was like casual, and they're like, "This doesn't work." I'm so sorry, I did not even read the instructions. I just brought a bunch of suits. I thought it was like a business thing, and they're like, "No, this is like a casual day in the park." I was the only guy with a suit that day, and they put me deep background, deep, 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 deep. Like he doesn't fit in here. It's 100 degrees, and he has a full suit with a tie, and I was dying, and that was horrible too. But it's just getting that headspace, be ready to do a different job each day.
Yeah, because you don't know what they're gonna ask for when you go in there. It's like, oh, here's what the call time is. Here's the location. Here's wardrobe, and that's
Right.
about as far as you know going into it. And then you get there, then they read you the scene, and then you're just like, okay, that's cool. And then you don't know where you're gonna be placed. You could be right next to the actor. You could be far deep background, but you just gotta be ready to go for whatever they ask for.
Well, before we finish, there is one thing I want to talk to you about. You and me did background on Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
How hard was it to keep that secret of what we saw that day?
Well, it was kind of it was definitely difficult because my brother was asking questions,
Yeah,
and then his friends were asking questions,
yeah,
and it's like you want to tell them, but the good thing was we didn't really know exactly what was going on in that
right,
scene.
right.
And I had my theories of what it was. It was the army scene when Tony and Steve go back to go get the what is it, the space stone,
Yes, in the 70s, in the 1970s.
prim particles. So it's that scene, and we're in there, and you can see Jorge blurred out.
Now I'm walking behind Tony, yes.
You're there, and I'm in the Jeep when they do the wide shot.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so you have all that going on. And we had the theories of like what was going on because they were shooting Infinity War and Endgame at the same time.
Yeah,
So we weren't really sure exactly how the whole story went about. We didn't even know which one it was. We were just like, it's the Avengers, and they still have part 1 and part 2. But so the good thing was, luckily, they didn't tell us anything
right.
that, because they kept it on under wraps. So it was like, I don't really even know what I could tell you to give away things. It's like, I know these are the actors I saw, but it's like, I can't even tell you that. But apart from that, it's like, here's the setting we were, and here's who the actors were.
Yeah.
And other than that, I have no other context of the scene, but it was still, all those things are difficult. You can't give away. I don't like giving away spoilers. And that
Yeah.
was one of those movies where people were like, tell me anything please. I need to know what's going on. Like I heard that when
Yeah.
Jack Black and Karen Gillian were shooting the last Jumanji,
Yeah.
Endgame hadn't came out yet, but Infinity War did. And he was trying to always trick her into like giving away
No.
secrets about the movie. And Nebula had a big part of Endgame, so he was like, all right, come on.
Huge.
Like, yeah. It's like, what do you got? So he was always trying to get her to give out the scoop on everything. But see, everybody was a fan. Everybody wanted to know what happened next. Even Jack Black, Nacho Libre.
Even Nacho Libre in Spanish. Quiero información. But, dude, let me tell you, I remember that day very specifically when I saw Tony Stark's father, Howard Stark. I was freaking out. I couldn't freak out. I couldn't freak out physically because I was doing my job and I had to be a soldier. But on the inside, I was screaming. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why is Tony Stark's father out here and why is he hugging him? My brothers, I have two younger brothers. You know, they're adults now, so they're always like, what's going on? What happened? Like who did you see? I'm like, don't worry about it, man. You know, get on the movie, get on the show, and you'll see for yourself. So I told my brother that, my second oldest brother, and he got on. He got on the show and he started doing background work. He's like, "Oh, dude, you were right. Like, this is amazing. This is great." And I'm like, "Oh, see, I told you. You know, don't ask me. Do it. Just check it out for yourself. You'll love it." Because here in Georgia, there are so many shows and movies going on. Well, not right now because of the quarantine going on.
Because you have more than 5 or 10 people together, and now we're all. That's like the whole business.
Yeah, just the crew behind the camera. How many people would you say? That's like a good 60 people.
Yeah, you count the grips, the PAs.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good 40 to 60 people.
40 to 60 people.
Depending on the production.
Behind any movie, you'll have 40 to 60 people behind the camera. And that doesn't count the people, you know, that are doing the editing and that are in the offices.
And Crafty. That doesn't count Crafty either.
Crafty's my favorite, man. We can't go on without Crafty. I'm just saying. Crafty, the coffee's always there. The sandwiches, the chips.
Never forget the unsung heroes.
Crafty.
Them and Transpo.
Oh, dude. What would we do without them? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man. Well, so that's pretty much all I have for you today, man. And thank you so much for being on. I've enjoyed this. You have no idea. I miss talking movies. Like, you have no idea.
No, it's nice, man. It's nice just to talk to somebody outside of, because we've been stuck in quarantine, so we haven't had a chance to go back to holding, and it makes you really appreciate, everything we missed out on, not being able to go back on set, not being able to go holding, not being able to entertain people. So just be able to see all these people you missed from holding. You know, it's just cool to get around and interact with these people somehow. So Zoom's a good way to stay in touch with everybody.
Yeah, we're in quarantine, but it's better to be inside for a few months and have the rest of your life, you know?
Hopefully we're done this thing by, I definitely know we're stuck in it for another month. Hopefully somewhere in May, we start getting some good news.
Yeah.
And June, things can start going back to normal and productions might start back up. Because once this thing is over and they allow people in big groups to be back together, it's just going to be all these production trying to play catch up.
Exactly.
And all these, so we're going to be, jumping into all these things that have been waiting just to keep going. And it's going to be fun because there's going to be a lot of work for everybody in the background world. So hopefully it all works out like that we can just all go back into it after, what are we on? This is week 4 now?
Week 4. Yeah, week 4.
Yeah, so we got a couple more. So you'll get your extra episode of Tiger King, and I'll be able to watch Parasite. And then we'll hopefully by the time all this is over, we're all ready to rock and roll and good to go. Because I'm kind of like antsy. It's been nice just to do nothing.
Yeah.
And just sit around in your underwear and just watch Netflix all day. But we just gotta. I miss being out there. I miss working. I miss the whole entire process of making all these productions. So it's been fun. It's been fun, but it's good. It's a little good time off because we work so much.
Yeah,
so we got our
time off, but it's nice to work and get money as well. That's always nice.
Yeah. We'll see how things go.
I think the whole world's ready to get back in there until it's safe, and no new movies or TV shows can be made until the quarantine's done. So we're all, it's not just for us to work, but also for the entertainment for people. All these things that we're supposed to start this year are not being made, and movies that were supposed to come out this year are not going to come out till next year. So we all want to get back in there, but as safely as possible. Hopefully we'll all get through this together, and it won't get any worse than this, hopefully.
As long as we social distance each other and stay inside, this thing will pass by in a couple weeks, and we'll all just be able to slowly go back to civilization in public.
Yeah, because this show was supposed to be in person. I was already setting up the studio with the microphones and everything. And then, all this happened. So this is how we have to talk, but it's okay for now. At least we can talk, at least we can communicate.
Yeah, it's good that everybody's still able to stay in touch with each other through all this stuff. Because some people are stuck at home by themselves, and it's just like they need some kind of outlet to stay in touch with other people.
All right, Ricky. Well, thank you so much for being on with us today, man. And for real, stay safe. I hope to see you soon in person, hopefully in a production, right?
Hopefully, man. Hopefully, I see you in the background again.
Yes, yes. Or something bigger, man. Yeah, all right. Thanks for being here.